So whenever I do a story about climate change, I always love to point out that 97% of climate scientists actually agree that, climate change is real and it's heavily influenced by human activity. Well, it turns out that I was actually wrong. 97% of climate scientists actually don't agree. What? And from November 2012 through December 2013, 2,258 different peer-reviewed climate articles by over 9,000 authors were written and reviewed. Guess how many had actually rejected man-made global warming? Out of all of those studies, 2,258 different peer-reviewed papers. How many rejected man-made climate change? One. Uno. That's it. One. So that brings the total number of climate scientists that reject climate change to a shocking 0.1%. 0.01%. So that means 99.99% of climate scientists now agree that climate change is real. I'm still shocked that it's not 100%. I'm pretty sure Koch money had something to do with that one guy. The sad part is that this does not make any sort of difference when it comes to our politics, especially when it comes to Republican politics. Let me explain. Out of the 278 elected Republicans in the House, 160 of them say, what, climate change doesn't exist. Liberal fallacy. Oh, they're just trying to tax us. That's it. Yep, they're just trying to tax you guys. That's 58% of all Republicans that are elected in office right now that don't believe in climate change. 130 of those are from the House of Representatives. It's about 56%. 30 senators that are Republican do not believe in climate change. Hey, you know what? Maybe I should be happy that it's not even higher. But nonetheless, these are our elected officials. These are people like Michelle Bachmann, Paul Brown, James Inhofe, very, very famous climate denier. These guys who are in places like the Science Committee making policy that don't believe in climate change. Speaking of some of the committees, 17 out of 22 Republican members of the House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology, or 77%, are climate change deniers. The Science Committee. Fuck, man. Not only that, but 90% of the House Republican leadership, the leaders of the Republicans, don't believe in climate change. They're deniers. But I'm not surprised. 22 out of 30 Republican members of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, or 73%, deny climate change. Notice that. The Energy and Commerce Committee. Making our energy policy. I wonder what kind of energy policy that we'll have with these guys. Could it be, I don't know, maybe drill, baby, drill? I'm thinking that's what happened. And finally, 100% of the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee Republicans have said that climate change is not happening or that humans do not cause it. Oh, it's just natural. Jesus will take care of it. Jesus. Look, I wouldn't be surprised that if 100% of these climate deniers were also getting bribed by big oil and natural gas and the coal industry lobbyists. And look, it's not just Congress that's the problem. It's also the media. Now, the media is a huge, huge problem. And that's according to some research done by Think Progress. Now, they found that in 2013, climate coverage at 5 of the major newspapers dropped by over 40%. That includes papers such as the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and the LA Times. Now, 40%, a 40% drop. Wow. And remember, we were already at historically low levels of climate coverage. And that's according to the University of Colorado that monitors newspaper coverage of climate change. Now, I've got a rather disastrous chart to show you that will kind of illustrate how bad it is in the media. Now, look at that. That is historically low. You could just say, like, it's print media. Who reads the print media anyway? Well, it's not just print media. It's actually television as well. Now, according to Robert Rule of Drexel University, in 2013, the major networks ABC, NBC, and CBS ran about 30 stories on climate change. Now, let's compare that to 2007, where there was actually 147 segments on climate change on the nightly news. And when the networks actually do talk about climate change, they actually create a false equivalence by bringing on a climate denier and bringing on a scientist, or most of the time not even a scientist. They'll bring on a Republican lawmaker, and they'll sit there and talk about, I don't know, you guys say that 97% of the climate scientists say that climate change exists, and you say that, and the Republican over here says that, well, we don't know. There's a there's no consensus in the scientific community. You decide. No, you don't get to decide on your facts. That is not something you get to decide on. What facts are real and what facts are not. Facts are fucking facts. So you either listen to the facts and make a decision based on it, or you accept that you're a fucking idiot with your fingers in your ears. And that's exactly what it is. And look, it's no wonder that because of our disgraceful media, that people are so mixed about climate change. They don't know what's what. They're confused. Why? Because our politicians and our media fucking lies to them all the time and creates a false equivalence. It's a disgrace. And you know what? I don't blame the people. Okay? No, the blame for this falls squarely on the lap of our politicians and our corporate-controlled, bought media. It's irresponsible and a disgrace.